All right, I've got FSD Beta 10.69.2.3 and figured it's time for a test loop again. This is basically what the test loop looks like. We're going to go down some country roads, then we'll go over towards some twisty roads, then we'll come back on the highway. So I'm in a commuter lot, and we're going to start from the commuter lot, and then we're going to end at the commuter lot. So we'll even go through a little bit of this town area. We'll have some traffic. We should have a mix of just about everything on this drive. So let's go ahead and get started. Try not to interfere with what it's doing unless it's going to cause problems for other cars or do something dangerous. So we'll see how it does here. Should be able to do a right on red. These cars are coming now, so it's going to stop. So FSD Beta has gotten really good. That's why I haven't done any test loops in a while. With that said, there is some phantom braking still, and it tends to happen in smaller roads and things like that. So I figured having a good test loop of will show how it's doing overall. So let's see how it does here. Didn't get too spooked by that person. See if it does it right on red or what it does here. Alright, it's creeping. Nope, I had to stop it there. Yeah, it was, for some reason it was going to go even though there's cars turning here. Or it felt like it was going to go. Alright, I will pull out and we'll give it a good chance to get started again. Alright. Back to the FSD Beta. A lot of hesitation there. I guess it just couldn't tell it was in that separate lane. Normally it's in the last couple of versions it's been very good about cars turning and it doesn't really hesitate too much. Good braking there with that car crossing over, but maybe a little too long on the brake. Now we have a merge up here. See what it does. I don't have any car next to me, so looks like it's just gonna. So that was probably the best scenario it could have there with that merge. I have noticed in this area that it doesn't look like the maps are quite right about which lane is which. And I've still seen it's getting to the wrong lane for turns or when it needs to go straight. So we'll see. There's a merge up here in a little over a mile where we have to get into the left lane in order to continue straight. The right lane is a turn only. So we'll see if this latest version, this latest map update gets that right. So far the ride's been pretty smooth. It's taking the corners at a good pace, not braking too abruptly. So far so good. Up here, it's slowing down a little bit, assuming for this corner. It's not sure how sharp it is. It needs to get over into that left lane. And so far it's not doing it. Oh, interesting. Looks like they're doing some work here. So, oh, it is moving over. There we go. That's interesting. There weren't any line markings there, and it knew there was another lane. That's impressive. Okay, so far, 69.2.3 is pretty impressive. This road just looks like it's just been resurfaced. Has those little sticky line divider things showing up as a dotted yellow line on the screen. We'll see how it does through this more narrow country road. And for reference, this was the country roads portion of the original test loop, and we're basically doing that entire test loop, but we're doing it in one shot. Couple little taps on the brake there. I wouldn't say it was aggressive, it's just not linear. So I think it's having a little bit of trouble where these little sticky things have been pulled up from other cars driving over top of them. It's not exactly sure where the center of the road is, but I'd say overall it's doing really well on staying in its lane and kind of understanding where it needs to be. Very good on that car turning. As soon as the car turned, it started accelerating again. Much more natural than it used to be. Oh, yeah, there we had some significant phantom braking. So up here it used to do some phantom braking, see if this is completely gone. It's been gone the last few versions. Yep, alright, good. Nope, it slowed down a little bit anyway. Well, slowed down even more there. Yeah, it seems to be a little hesitant now, especially around left corners where cars are coming. Yeah, this is an extra challenge for the car today, with having a new paved road with these little sticker things that are already getting pulled off, and there's only a few on the road, so it's kind of hard to tell where the center. Okay, yep, a little phantom braking, or a little braking there, assuming based on those motorcycles. So we're back to regular lines here in the older pavement. Display's a little bit more solid. We're behind vehicles now, so it's hard to tell if it would have the same phantom braking. Since it's following cars now, it's going to be much more confident. Doesn't appear to have any issues with these hard shadows. That's good. Still seems to be more cautious around left turns than it does right turns. It's kind of hard to explain, but it definitely slows down more around the left turns. It's a little bit more aggressive in the braking around left turns. It just seems to go slower around them than it does right turns, at least on these country roads anyway. You can kind of see how narrow these roads are. I mean, that dump truck up there is basically line to line. So these are relatively narrow roads for the speed. All right, we are getting close to the end of the first waypoint here, and hopefully I can remember how to get it to switch over to the second waypoint, since I don't really want it stopping in the middle of the road. All right, if I have to take over up here for getting that second waypoint, we won't count that against the car. Yeah, it's slowing way down, like way too much here. Yeah, it slowed down to like 35, and it did not need to do that. It was braking too aggressively. So something's still going on with left turns. Oh, it's gonna pull into this area for me. Okay. All right. Well, that's somebody's private property, so we'll go ahead and turn around here. Okay, on to the next one. So I had to... Sorry, that was my fault. I hit the brake when I shouldn't have. So we're not going to count that against the car because I couldn't figure out how to get it to go to the next waypoint. So it took that turn on its own. We'll let it roll to the next waypoint. Yeah, again, left turn, slowing way down. Yeah, so still needs some work on that. It's not to the point where you have to take over, but when there's cars behind me, I'd have to tap the accelerator so that it doesn't slow down to the point where people are braking too quickly behind me. You're going around this right hand corner, it slows down, but not a whole lot. When we go around this left corner, it's slowing way down. Oh, there's some construction folks up here, so that's probably good. It's slowed. Yeah, it's slowing way. I mean, it's down to 30 miles an hour. So I'm tapping it back up. So left corners around these roads, for some reason, it just slows down way too much. Yep. Again, could have taken that corner at least 45. When there's a lead car, it seems to be much more confident. All right, so up here is a very sharp left-hand corner. The last test loop with FSD Beta, it was finally able to make this corner. This is very, very, very sharp. Like 10 mile an hour is probably even fast for this corner. So let's see how it does here. No problem at all. Those are the type of things that are just absolutely amazing. How far FSD Beta has come, that it's able to... That road was modified at some point to make that a required left turn, and it couldn't take that turn initially on FSD Beta, and the last two versions, or last 2 or 3 versions, have been able to do it with no problem. Very confident. It's amazing how much how good FSD Beta has gotten. All right, so there's a turn left here, and then a sharp turn right, a sharpish. So it didn't brake much beforehand, but then it braked pretty aggressively when it was in the turn. So yeah, the left turns, and like this right turn, much smoother, much smoother. Appropriate speed, it was braking before the turn, not in the turn. So much better. So I don't know what's going on with left turns. Yeah, even this slight left turn, it kind of let off the accelerator quick. Kind of unusual. Yeah, it's not like slamming on the brakes and stopping. It's just letting off on very gentle left turns, and then braking on turns where it could probably slow down a little bit, but not as much as it is. And it's not consistent from left to right turns. No phantom braking on the straight here, which is good. Okay, it's our turn. Yeah, not too bad. I'd like it to get up to the stop sign a little bit faster. You can tell that people don't really like how slow it moves up to the stop sign. It's not terrible, but getting up there a little quicker and kind of getting the cycle done would make people happier, I think. This area of the road opens up a bit more. I would expect that there's going to be no issues, no phantom braking on this stretch, but we'll see. Hey, even that very slight left turn, it slowed down by a mile per hour. Now, it wasn't aggressively slowing down, but just odd that it would slow down for that narrow of a turn. Moving over for the cars on the left, it's kind of nice. I like that it does that. And no slowing on this corner at all, and it's sharper than the previous left. See what it does for this left. Yeah, slowing down quite abruptly, went down to 44. Yeah, I mean, it's not significant, but it's noticeably different than right turns. In the camera, I'm sure it doesn't even register as being different, but it's definitely a different feeling in the car when it's doing a left versus a right on these kind of country roads. Yeah, I mean, here it's slowing down to 39 miles an hour on this very, very gentle left corner. You can see the car in front of me I don't think he even touched his brakes. For that one, it didn't slow down too badly, and that was actually a pretty good speed through that corner. It's just odd. Some of them, it's more than not, it does it with left corners. Yep, come on. Alright. Yeah, see, that was just weird. I don't know why it would go so slowly through that four-way on it. But anyway. Alright, so now we're getting to the Twisty Road portion. So this is lots of little hills and very sharp turns. So I'm going to attempt to let it go. Selected speed. I do have the speed set to, I think, 10% maybe, or something like that. I will, just to give it the best chance, I will set it to the actual speed limit, since the speed limit here is probably a bit high for this road in general. But we'll see how it does with managing its own speed. This area of the road has a lot of blind hills and corners and things like that. Now for this left turn that it really couldn't see around, it didn't brake hard before the corner, but afterwards it did. Very odd. Alright, slowing down a bit here for that, which I kind of would have expected it to do, not being able to see over the hill. Though it has done better on that corner previously. And slowing down quite aggressively there. Now, to put it in perspective, the original FSD really couldn't do this road without significantly slowing it down. The fact that it's able to work towards managing its speed, even if it's a little bit slow, is very impressive. This is a tough road. good speed management through there. We got kind of a blind right corner. Pretty good. It probably could have slowed down a little bit more for that, but not too bad. Tight 25 mile per hour corner up here. Yep, very good. And then it's blind over this hill. Very good. Yep, did a great job. Early versions would have crossed over the yellow line. Another blind hill. Yep, no issues. Very good. Yeah, early versions also would, on the very steep hills, would set off the takeover immediately alarm and disengage. So this has come a long way. A little bit of a tap on the brakes when I saw that car coming. Another blind hill. Very good. Tap the brakes there where it didn't really need to, but you give it a little bit more of a leniency on these. Yeah, not sure why it broke on the top of the, or just as it came over on the other side, but again, I will give it more leniency on this road because this is a very difficult road. So far it's doing quite well. In fact, I don't think I've ever been able to go through here without a takeover at some point. Yeah, another kind of gentle left turn that it slowed down too much for. It's weird. Especially when cars are coming the other way. It seems with these more narrow roads, it's much more hesitant. Oh, I see some deer up here, so I might slow down just a tad bit, or pay attention here. Alright, very sharp 15-mile-an-hour corner. It has been able to do this one pretty regularly. Sometimes it will hit the rumble strips, but not this time. Yep, that was very good. Slowed down to the appropriate amount. Alright, so we're out of the sharpest portions of the road. There are a couple of other kind of blind, sharp corners up here that it used to have some trouble with. We'll see how it does. Alright, this is a bit of a tough corner because it turns left and then it's a kind of a blind hill. Not bad. And then here's another one. Now that was the appropriate amount of braking for that corner. Now there's a sharp right turn that goes over a hill up here. That's a blind hill. See how it does here. Perfect. Didn't even touch the rumble strips. It always hit the rumble strip. Now, then we hit the rumble strips on the left turn. All right, one set of rumble strips. So I kind of got close to the center of the road on that one. But I'll say that that area is much, much improved over previous versions. Nope. Yeah. Oh, geez. Wow. Down to 16 miles an hour around that corner. There's no one behind me, so I kind of let it do it. But yeah, something really weird is going on with left corners, with cars coming the other direction on these kind of country roads. All right, now we'll be switching over to some highway. Turn signals. Tesla, you've got to get the turn signals down when crossing dotted lines. I understand it's not necessary in some cases, but got to start doing that. Okay, sometimes the tents go to the left side of the on-ramp here. Not bad that time. Wish it would kind of stay to the right side, but not bad. Alright. Okay with the merge. I don't expect any problems because Navigate on autopilot, other than following the slinky thing it does in traffic, I don't expect any issues at all. Tell you, when you're on Navigate on autopilot, you really miss the lane changes of FSD Beta. The lane changes are just so slow with Navigate on autopilot before it when it starts the blinker, and then when it commits the lane change, it just seems so long compared to FSD Beta, which moves very quickly after it turns the blinker on. Cannot wait until the single stack is done, and lane changes are just like regular FSD Beta. I'm sure it's going to be a huge improvement. Alright, back on FSD Beta. Let's see if it can get us back to the commuter lot where we started. Much quicker at starting it from traffic lights and things like that as well. You used to wait almost a second when a car in front of you would move forward, and it's so much better now. It seems to move as soon as the car in front of you starts to move, which is perfect. Alright. Corner normally has a turn lane and 2 center lanes, so let's see what it does here. Oh, it figured it out after a second. Good. Hey, using the turn signal. Perfect. Alright, we've got blinking yellow. See what it decides to do here. And it's marked those cars in blue, so assuming it's going to go after them. Yep, as soon as they started going through the intersection, that was really well done. A little slow through this intersection, but guess that's okay. And here we are. So overall, I think it's a good improvement. The left corners on country roads, especially with cars coming the other direction, It's slowing down too much, a little too aggressively, and it's not equal from left to right turns. So if I had to criticize anything, I would say it's that with this version. Other than that, FSD has come so far. I think I had to take over once, and it's possible it was going to pause in that right turn and not go anyway. So I think it was my hesitation more than the cars there, but I'll look back at the video and see. So that whole trip, which I'll put the number of miles up and how long it was, and I had to take over one time. All right, thanks for watching.